So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the UK steel industry being concerned. I'm just checking my RAM quickly. Not very professional, should be fine. The UK steel industry bracing for a slump in trade as US reduces tariffs on the EU. So this is something we've talked about for a bit, which is that the EU and US trade war has pretty much ended, and what's happened is the US has gotten rid of tariffs on EU steel but hasn't done so for British steel. So Donald Trump put the tariffs on all of us collectively, but yeah, we've been singled out for some reason. I wonder if it's because we're playing games in Northern Ireland and we're generally not being very nice internationally. UK steel industry is braced for an immediate slump in trade from New Year's Day, when European rivals will gain 25% price advantage selling to the US market, because the US have a 25% tariff on UK steel, which means that for Americans wanting to import UK steel, they will have to pay 25% worth of the steel in a tariff, which is very high. The EU and the US reached a Halloween agreement to remove the ghosts of Donald Trump. I'm just kidding. To remove the tariffs on a quota of steel and aluminium, or aluminum, as you guys would call it. Aluminum. Yeah, does that annoy you, viewers? Because what I have to listen to when I watch my favourite American YouTubers like Gamers Nexus. Aluminum. Okay, there's enough of that. Aluminum. Imported from the bloc into the US from the 1st of January, but tariffs will remain on all UK steel and aluminium, that's the last one I promise, aluminium exports after the government talks failed to secure a matching breakthrough. Gee, I wonder why. I thought we were the big boss, I thought we were going to call the shots. We can't even get the US to get rid of a tariff on a trade deal. A tariff on a bilateral deal, I guess it would be. And we're going to force them to give us a deal. Like, are you mad? You got International Trade Secretary Anne-Marie Trevelyan, sorry I can't pronounce the second name, really don't care, early this month invited the US Commerce Secretary for further discussions in London, which are understood to be scheduled for January. However, an industry source said they were not optimistic that a deal would be reached quickly. I thought we were meant to be the man on campus, the one to beat. We're going to do trade deals all around the world and all this nonsense, and we can't even get the Americans to get rid of a 25% tariff. Crazy. And the other problem we're facing now is because EU steel will be cheaper, the Americans importing sort of European steel, there's no guarantee they'll go back to buying British steel, because they're going to be looking at Italian steel, German steel, French steel, whatever, and they may make deals and keep those in place for the long term, which, is bad news for us. The International Trade Secretary, Anne-Marie, we mentioned that, sorry. The tariffs were first introduced by former President Donald Trump in 2018. President number 45, Donald Trump. 2018 under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act on national security grounds, imports supposedly undermine the US ability to produce its own steel. What happened to the free market, bud? Why won't you compete, son? British exporters to the EU could also be hit because of an unusually strict clause in the EU-US agreement, which means steel originating in the UK will still attract the tariffs even if worked on by EU companies. Say, for example, you have steel in your car, that's British steel, and then the car is finished within the EU and that's exported over. I'm assuming you're going to be hit with a tariff because of rules of origins, something on those lines. It'll be down to rules of origins anyways. Gareth Stace, the Director General of UK Steel, said UK steel exports to the US have halved since Donald Trump's introduction of steel tariffs in 2018. There can be no doubt these measures have significantly harmed the UK's interests in its second biggest steel export market. The steel market's in for a rough ride anyways, because, we're out of the EU. That's a huge problem. We're facing massive energy bill increases, which is another huge problem for steel manufacturers. This tariff thing will not help them at all. Whilst we welcome the move by the US to start easing its tariffs without a UK deal in very quick succession, our export position will only deteriorate further. And this is a further kind of tool the Americans have over us. The fact that, if we decide to use Article 16, they can say, cool, we're going to keep the tariffs on steel and we're going to do more stuff. We're going to put tariffs on more things, because the president can do that. Donald Trump did these tariffs unilaterally. There was no vote in Congress about this. So we should be very careful about what we do next. That's all I'm saying. Harish Patel, the national officer for the Steel at Unite, a trade union representing many British steelworkers, said the government need to explain why the EU had a deal but the UK did not. Well, I think it's fairly obvious. The Americans see the EU as bilateral, sort of partners again on the global stage who can make changes. And the simple fact is they want to circumvent kind of China and China steel manufacturing. That's why they've done this deal, so Americans stop importing as much Chinese steel. But clearly, Britain are not in that club of good boys or good people because we're starting to mess around a lot. Amid reports that the US was holding back over the UK's threats to unilaterally change post-Brexit trading rules governing Northern Ireland, and that's what this is about here. Penny Mordaunt has tried to deny this. She said the two things are separate. Well, you're going to have to explain to the British public then why is it that the Americans have kept these tariffs on us, and got rid of the ones in the EU. Because if it's not for Northern Ireland, you're going to have to explain to the rest of the class what the hell is going on. I will get to Penny Mordaunt's statements in a minute. So the UK negotiated the so-called Northern Ireland Protocol. I don't know why they put so-called in front of it. I mean, it is the Northern Ireland Protocol. It's not the so-called Northern Ireland Protocol. Anyways, barely a year ago as part of the trade deal with the EU, but it has repeatedly said it may unilaterally break it off. Joe Biden has warned Boris Johnson against threatening peace on the island of Ireland because, any US president would do that. And the simple fact is, if we open that Pandora's box again, the US will inevitably be dragged into it again, which is a nightmare scenario for everyone. Junior International Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt, junior minister, hopefully she doesn't go any higher than that, said this month denied the failure to reach the steel deals linked to Brexit. Again, you're going to have to tell the rest of the class what's going on then. She told Parliament that that story might be true in terms of how some people in the United States feel, but it's a false narrative. The two are entirely separate issues. So again, why is it that UK steel still faces a 25% tariff when exported to America, but the EU isn't? You're going to have to explain that to the rest of the class, Penny Mordaunt, and I would expect any half-decent journalist to go and ask this question of the junior minister. But then again, in this country, we don't have many half-decent journalists. We don't have many at all. So Priti Patel saying that is alarming, that British produced steel is being effectively locked out of the critical steel market as the continuing tariffs make EU steel considerably cheaper, which means they're going to buy EU steel. That's not a hard one to figure out. You're talking a 25% decrease really off the price of British steel. The government has to sort this matter out quickly. Unless the tariffs are speedily lifted, hundreds of jobs in the steel and associated industries, most of them in the so-called red wall, again, please stop using that phrase, so-called, red wall seats are at risk. And this is more irony as, red wall voters who helped give these Tories a massive majority, who voted in part for Brexit. I think there were large amounts of red wall voters who did this. And now, once again, they are being impacted by this government's decisions and still do nothing about it. Surely, if you work in the steel industry and you're in the red wall, especially if you have a Tory MP and you voted for them, surely you've got to ask him, why is it that the Americans are keeping a 25% steel tariff on us? What the hell is going on? Because if it's not Brexit related or related to the Northern Ireland Protocol, why are we being singled out by the Americans? These are the questions I would ask if I had a chance. A government spokesperson said, "We recognise the vital role the steel sector plays in our economy, and our priority is to resolve this dispute to the benefit of the workers and businesses on both sides of the Atlantic, removing the need for the UK to levy retaliatory tariffs on the US." I mean, until that's resolved, the UK will continue to apply its rebalancing measures to defend our economic interests. What are you talking about? You're starting a trade war with the biggest economy in the world. Like, we're number 7, I think now. You're starting a trade deal with the biggest economy in the world. Do you think you're going to win that? Do you think you're big enough to win this? Like, honestly, you're better off, fighting Prime Muhammad Ali. There's no chance. There's no chance we're going to win this trade war. There is no way that through retaliatory tariffs are we going to get the US to go back on its decision regarding the tariffs. The only way we're going to do that is by actually negotiating in good faith and looking for solutions in Northern Ireland rather than being absolute clowns and constantly threatening Article 16. Do you guys think they don't read the papers over there? Do you guys think they don't know what the situation is? Do you think they don't see the buses being burnt down in Northern Ireland? Of course they see this stuff. They know Northern Ireland. The Americans were involved in stopping the Troubles. This is absolute madness. The fact that they're trying to deny the steel tariffs are linked to Brexit. This is wild stuff here. And if you're one of those people who haven't realised that it's linked, then you're a bit of a clown, really. You're a bit of a clown if you haven't realised that at this late stage what's going on. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.